Have you ever finished a diamond painting and sat there for a second like, okay, we need to talk about what just happened? Because not every canvas experience is the same, even when you really want it to be. Tonight, we've got a little bit of everything. Spooky lips from Diamond Design Co., 3 mini gems from Forever Young, and 1 large canvas. I Will Always Fight for You by Fink with Mystical Dream Diamonds. That definitely took me on a journey. I'm going to walk you through the finishes and the things I loved, the things that surprised me, and a couple things I think maybe are worth knowing before you dive in. Hey, hi, hello, and howdy. I'm Mushmallow, and you are, well, you're you. Hello, you. Welcome to Dark and Creepy Diamond Painting, and today we are going to be doing some post reviews. So let's get right into it. A quick note, friends, everything I share in this video is based on my personal experience with my specific canvases. Diamond painting is super subjective. What works beautifully for one person might not work the same for someone else. My goal is always to give you an honest, respectful breakdown so you can decide what's right for you. I got me a stack here, a fat stack. It's not cash, don't we wish it was, but it is completed diamond paintings. I've been a busy little bee lately, despite all the things going on in life. So I want to share with you guys some things I've completed recently. The first one is this little Forever Young mini gem. I've got 3 of them here that I finished up on the road, actually. These are my little hotel/hospital finishes. Portable enough to take with me and pretty much anywhere, and even places with limited space and comfort, and still feel like I was doing something, accomplishing something. I was being productive, and I was soothing my anxious mind. So this is the first one I did. I have to admit, these 3 Forever Young mini gems, while they're very clear and they do tell you the sizes on the website, still much smaller than I even expected. Like, when I got these, I was like, oh, I knew it was going to be small, but you guys, this is like hand, smaller than my hand. I was like, these are real small. Let me get some of this big distraction out of the way here a little bit so you can kind of see. These are all really, this is about the size of my hand, maybe, if I stretch. All of these are kind of hand size or smaller. And I was a little disappointed in that, even though it's my own fault. So I'm disappointed in me, I guess is what I'm saying. But I feel like for the price they charge for some of these, they're all in the same like neighborhood of between, I think it's like $8 and $12 or $15 for these mini gems, and they come in different shapes and sizes. Some are narrow and long, some are itty bitty. They're in the same like price bracket, and for me, I was just like, I paid what for this? Like, sadness. You know what I mean? But having said that, talking about the price thing, I'm a little sensitive about price right now because life, right? But still, I'll try to remember to put up on the screen how much each of these were, because they come individually, not in a packet, a kit, a pack, a set, if you will. It is the Gothic themed mini gems, but they don't come in a box set like some of their others do. So that kind of perplexes me a little bit. Why did Gothic get left out of this box set situation? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I did these little ones here. I think for the size, they turned out really good. They are square resin drills. They're a like brushed velvety feeling soft canvas. They're not totally wiggly wobbly. They do have a little bit of stiffness to them to hold their shape. Scalloped poked edges. It does tell you who it's by and the name of it. This is the eyeball. So small I can't. Eyeball specimen. I thought it said don't ask me what I thought it said. I'm a female, and it started with Yes, and I don't know, another medical instrument came to mind, but no, this is eyeball specimen, and it is really, really small. That's all I really can say about this one. It's small. This took me maybe an hour tops to do, and most of that was dealing with, confetti and pouring the bags in and out. But yeah, quick finish. I'm pleased for how small it is, how it turned out, you know. And then I completed this one. This one's called the Devil Snow Globe. She turned out really cute as well. This also only took me a couple hours to do. Again, the same materials and whatnot. I mean, I don't know. I get like I can't get over how my brain saw the size and imagined it bigger, but it is what it is. And then the third one I completed is Man-Eater Bloom. I really like how this one turned out. I've done these Forever Young mini gems before and been very, very pleased. I've done several from the Gothic set. I've done the little cards, the stiffer spare drill cards, and I've never had any problems with any of the canvases. Loved them all. These three I ordered at the same time. They came at the same time, and had some a little bit of issue. For the first time in my experience with Forever Young, these three canvases, the glue was not as tacky. It was a little slippy, and that was giving me some issue. And I noticed it on all three canvases, which was kind of strange. They were all individually packed, but for some reason they all had kind of the same issue. Also, I feel like, and this could just be a me thing, like I said, I was traveling. I wasn't my normal diamond painting optimal environment. But I feel like, I don't know, these didn't turn out as good as some of the other ones I've done. And I usually take these minis to hotels and hospitals with me, and they turn out fine. But these, I don't know if they did something with the grid and loosened it a little bit. I didn't feel like the drills snapped into place like they normally do. See, there's some like little gappings here and there, which could totally be me, but it's just something I didn't notice on any of the other ones that I've done. So might just be a me thing, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Definitely the glue I noticed seemed to be weaker, and yeah, I was a little bit disappointed in the grid. A little bit seemed different, odd to me. If you're asking what I'm doing, I'm pushing in a drill that's kind of popping up there. There we go. I have not sealed these yet, so that's next on the list. But overall, I love Forever Young mini gems, especially when they offer us some of these kind of horror / gothic themes. It's hard to find mini kits or mini canvases that are of this nature and good quality. So I will order again. I'll let this pass and see if my next batch comes with some of the same things I was noticing before. And it doesn't hurt if you're going to order from Forever Young and get yourself some of these gothic or horror mini gems or anything else on there. You can use my code. It gets you 10% off, and it helps support Dark and Creepy Diamond Painting with a few little pennies. They'll throw a few pennies my way, and that way I can continue obtaining things from their shop and showing you and giving you guys my thoughts. But yeah, huge fan of Forever Young and their mini kits. It's just for me, they turn out looking good, but something was off with the glue, in my opinion, and possibly the grid on these ones just this time. And the price hurts my feelings a little bit. Okay, well, now we're done with that. Let's move on to the Diamond Design Co. Spooky Lips collection. And here is the Spooky Lips collection by the Diamond Design Company. My friends, I completed this quite a bit ago. This is a very belated post review for you. I'm sorry. And unfortunately, before I even got through finishing the Spooky Lips kit, it got retired from their Etsy shop, and I did not at last check see it on their actual like website. If you didn't know, Diamond Design Co. started off on Etsy, and they now have a dedicated personal website that you can shop from. And as always, I recommend that if you're going to support small shops, please use their personal small shop website versus Etsy if you can, because Etsy kind of takes a chunk, a bite, a honk of their profit margin with the extra fees and such that are attached over there that are avoidable on their personal shop website. So if you get a chance and you want to shop Diamond Design Co. or any of your other favorite Etsy shops, definitely check and make sure that they, to see if they have like a personal www this small shop website. Like I said, Diamond Design Co. now has their own website, and I encourage you to shop there if you're going to go. You will not find the Spooky Lips unless they bring it back or have brought it back and I missed it. Last I saw that it was retired. And the only kind of spooky, creepy, maybe arguably gothic-y type set that I have seen on their site, last time I looked, granted it's been a couple weeks because I've been busy, but was this like potion bottle situation that I think they retired off their Etsy shop maybe, but it is available on the Diamond Design Co. website, which if I'm a good little mushy, I put on the screen for you, and it'll be in the description box down below. In any event, I'm sorry that I'm happy. I'm not sorry. I'm happy I'm bringing you the Diamond Design Co. post review and going to go through these with you and tell you what I thought and whatnot. I'm happy to share with you. I'm sad that this is no longer available for you, and for that I feel really bad. That was part of the reason it took me so long. I've been internally debating, do I show you, don't I show you? It's not fair, but I want to share, so here we are, we're sharing. You gotta share a good thing when you come across it, right? So Diamond Design Co., they have these mini kits, and they're pretty good size for a mini kit. I believe these are they 20 or 25 by 20? They're square, so it's 20 by 20 or 25 by 25. Decent size. They did take me I think 8 to 12 hours each to complete, maybe. Pretty good time investment. It was a good distraction. They are square resin drills. They very much remind me of the Forever Young materials. They're square drills. The canvas is a kind of a soft brushed velvety situation. Scalloped poked edges so we don't get some fraying, and these grids on these canvases are tight, and I love it. These are the canvases where your square drills snap into place. You don't see any gapping. There's like zero gapping. They snap into place with that satisfying click, and everything just works out great. I am super, super excited, thrilled, and happy with how all of these turned out. And there were, in the one box, there were what? There were 8, mushy. Don't hurt yourself trying to count. Different canvases in the one set, and I think it was like $70 or $80. And I feel you might look at that and be like, oh my gosh, for 12 mini canvases, but you guys, these are actually a really good size. Just for comparison's sake, boop. Let me just boop. I mean, really, really good price. Value for your money, in my opinion. You get premium luxury materials and the canvas that I'm always searching for, where I'm always saying when I do a square, where are the canvases where they snap into place and there's no gapping that they show in the ASMR videos? Found them right here, Diamond Design Co. So yeah, I think that these were well worth the cost of them at the time of purchase, and really, really happy with everything, how they turned out and whatnot. Caveat, the one thing that I would say that might pester some people about these is probably that there were 120, I think it was 121 or 125 colors. These are jam-packed with colors. I worked these out of the baggies, and I just put the stickers. It came with a sticker inventory sheet. I put the stickers on the right baggies, you know, that went with the stickers. And when I was ready to start a canvas, I just kind of took the box with the baggies, brought it with me, and I leafed through all the baggies till I found the symbol I was looking for, did that, and I put it in its own little quarantine area, because then I knew if I find another symbol that I missed or something, it's in this quarantine area. But yeah, basically I worked these out of the baggies and kept these symbols that were on each individual canvas separate in their own little conga line, I guess. Words are hard, I'm sorry. But here's all the different designs. Get a ton of them. They are all beautiful, vibrant. There's special drills in here where there isn't in the Forever Young, by the way. Did I miscount? Is it 12? No, it's 8. It was 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Oh my gosh. So yeah, there were 8 canvases, but still well worth the money, in my opinion, for the quality of materials and how they turned out. I was admittedly, I did get a little afraid when I saw how many baggies of drills there were, how many colors there were. I thought, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a confetti nightmare. And yes, these are pretty heavy confetti, but it works for the canvas. It's not unnecessary confetti, in my opinion. And you know, as scary as it might be to have so many baggies, and you look at it, how am I going to kit up 121 different colors? However you want to do it, you know. But for me, I worked out of the baggies and it worked great. I kept the little box. I kept the baggies in the little box that the whole kit came in, and worked it that way, and it worked out great. So the ones that we have here, they don't have names. It's just spooky lips in general. But this is a witchy one. This one's very pretty. It's got some ABs through the lips, and you can see the cauldron and a magic wand and little witch hat and stuff. So there's that one. Here's like a voodoo-y one. She's got the push pin here resting on her lips, and it does have some of the special drills up here at the top. Did I feel one? Do I feel it? Yep, I popped it back in. These have not been sealed yet either. I'm saving. I pile up my ones to seal and do them all at once. And this one is kind of like a little devil, a devilish. She's got an eye in her mouth there. She's got some horns. My only complaint maybe about this one in particular is that you get the whole horn on this side, and on this side it's cut off. You see that? There's like one line of white here, and I really think that they could have maybe finish the horn. And then there's two lines of white on this side of the horn, so it's kind of off center a little bit. But yeah, I would have rather been missing the edge of both horns to get it centered. That's the OCD in me. But otherwise, really happy with that one as well. And then we have this one. I thought was kind of like a mermaidy or sea serpenty, because it looks like fish scales here. There's an eye in her mouth there, and some like green mossy ooze. And this one we have the Halloweeny themed with the black and orange, and it's got a spider coming out of her mouth. Ooh, and a spider web in the background on her lips. This one is another one. This was very interesting. I'm not sure what I would I guess just Living Dead, a zombie maybe type of vibe. Got a skull in the mouth here. We've got some greens and blues. There's some specials up through here. Usually I'm finding the specials kind of act as lip gloss a little bit, or tooth shine there. There's some specials here on the driplets. And we've got some toxic lips right here, and you can see this bottle of poison. It's got the little hints at a toxic symbol here and here on her lips as well. But this lady's got some toxic venomous poison situation. And then we have what I called the Beetlejuice lips, because this reminds me of the Beetlejuice sandworm snaky things, right? And but also kind of a zombie situation, because there's a brain in the mouth. But Anyway, and some like eyes right here. Is that what these are? Yeah. Ugh, couple eyeballs right there too. Why? But yeah, I think this one might be one of my favorites here on top. Out of all these, did you have a favorite? Did any one of these jump out at you? If this is the quality that every Diamond Design Company mini kit has, then I'm here for it. I would happily chunk down the moolah again to get another set like this. I'm just noticing this actually. All these other lips are kind of big and take up the full space. This one's a little bit smaller, I guess, to get the hat in here maybe. But I just find that interesting. If you're somebody with OCD and that's going to bother you, just know that that's a thing. That and the devil horns kind of being off center a little bit. Yeah, it looks like there's one set of lips that's smaller so they could get the embellishments in there. You know what I'm saying? The hat. And there's some that are maybe up higher than and not centered directly in the middle. Like these have been centered kind of in the middle or whatever. This is sitting a little higher. But overall, I'm super happy with this collection. Turned out beautiful, great quality materials, didn't give me any problems. And my dream square canvas where everything, there's no gapping and every little drill fits snap right into place. That was probably my favorite part of all of it, was the satisfying snap of a square into its little spot. Click. All right, and with that, we're done with the mini canvases that I have to show you, and now we get to talk about the canvas that most of you have been asking me about and I have most recently finished, which is Mystical Dream Diamonds I Will Always Fight for You by Gus Fink. Kind of a zombified Legend of Zelda Link situation, inspiration, if you will. So let's get down and dirty and talk about that big ol' finish, because the Mystical Dream Diamonds is a big old mamma jamma canvas. I am not going to try to show it to you here because you won't be able to get to see all of it. So we're going to relocate and discuss it where we have more space and can actually point things out and talk about them. And here it is completed, my friends. I Will Always Fight for You by Gus Fink at Mystical Dream Diamonds. This is the first canvas I've ever completed from Mystical Dream Diamonds, and I have thoughts and opinions. So some specs on this canvas are, it's a 60 by 78 centimeter canvas with 60 colors, round drills with specials. There were ABs and like pixie dust glittery type situations in there. Full drill coverage on the canvas. This is not a partial, it is a full drill canvas. First, let's talk about price. So just to give you some context on price, I purchased this canvas back on Black Friday during their Black Friday sale, and it was $85 was the list price at that point in late November. By the time I unboxed it in early February, it was listed at $92 on their website. And as far as I know, that's where the price sits today. So in the general scheme of things, I would say this is a mid to high tier price point for canvases. Again, it is a 60 by 78, pretty large. And this is a very popular artist. Gus Fink is very popular in the gothic / horror like art for his actual artwork and art pieces, not just diamond painting canvases. So, you know, this is a premium artist, and so that could factor in, I'm sure, with the price point. But like I said, when I bought it, it was $85. When I unboxed it 3 months later, it was $92. And as far as I know, that's the price that it is. But if you're not sure, you can go check out Mystical Dream Diamonds and check out their pricing. And yeah, for those of you who are price conscientious, there are the specs on that aspect. The total time it took me to do this canvas was 73 hours and 22 minutes. So I spent a significant amount of time working across all areas of this canvas. So let's start with some of the positive notations that I had. The AB drills that came in here are the best I've ever seen. They're completely coated. There were no what I call fish scaling, where like some of the coating flakes off in the bag or your container. There was none of that going on in here. The whole drill is coated. So there's some ABs through here, right here, for instance. And these were absolutely, let's see if I can zoom you in, the most beautiful, well, those are some glitter drills there, AB drills that I have ever had in any kit. There's some more glitter. Let me see if I can find you those ABs. Stand by. They were staring us in the face. They're right up here in the shield. But they are so beautiful. However, what I did notice about these AB drills, as beautiful and completely fully coated as they are, they had like this, I don't know what you would call it, excess spill off that dried around them. So it made them a little bit bigger in space consumption than every other drill. And I will put a picture up close of some of the AB drills so you can see what I'm talking about. But it had like where they poured maybe an AB coating over the top and it settled around the base of the drill and made like an extra circle. And so it kind of took up more space than the average drills did. I'm getting the shadow in the way. I'm not trying to, but here's a look up close at these AB drills. I will insert pictures also so that you can see, but they are beautiful. So are the dust ones. But guys, look at how beautiful those AB coated drills are. These are the most beautiful AB drills I've ever seen. I just wish they didn't have that extra like dried dribble off, runoff, whatever you want to call it, on the sides. But did it ruin it? Did it wreck it? Did it, totally destroy how this canvas came together? No, not at all. So there you go. Beautiful special drills in this canvas. I might even argue that this was like A++ top tier sparkle from the void kind of shine coming off of here. Wouldn't you say? Don't you think? Easily some of the best AB coating I've seen, and the artwork itself. Like I said, this is a Gus Fink. There's his autograph down there. Boop. A Gus Fink artwork here. Very popular, premium artist. And I'm really, really excited. They were in the diamond painting space with another company that's now out of business a couple years back. And I have been patiently waiting for Gus Fink and Emmy Boz to come back, and they have, with Mystical Dream Diamonds. So I'm very excited to have access to some of my favorite artists in diamond painting form. Again, that's amazing. I'm really excited about that. Gus Fink's style is like very bold and chaotic and expressive. And if you love that kind of raw, slightly like unhinged maybe aesthetic, this piece definitely leans into that. And if you're a gamer like me, this is screaming at you. Get me, you love me. Overall, I have to say I really did enjoy this canvas, though I did have a couple of frustrations with it, and we're going to talk about those. I'm going to do it from the comfort of the desk because I can show you with pictures what I'm talking about. But here's the overall finish for you there. I should mention before I forget, it is autographed down here, Gus Fink. You can tell because I've told you it says Gus Fink, but you might not know if I didn't tell you. Yeah, it comes out all right. You know what I mean? I did point that out in my unboxing, and if I recall correctly, the owner of Mystical Dream Diamonds came in the comments And in part of her comment, she did say that, oops, maybe that wasn't supposed to be there, and she was going to discuss with the manufacturer this aspect. Because when you go on their website and you look at the art and then the rendered version, the autograph's not there. But my canvas has the autograph, and it was charted in here. And I don't think is supposed to, because on the website it doesn't show that being there. So yeah, just a note. It is what it is. I don't know. Does that maybe this makes it more valuable or not? I don't know. But either way, pretty cool to have the autographed version, even though if the autograph was going to be on there, I wish it was bigger so that it was more clearly kind of visible, not just teeny tiny clumps of drills down here. I would have liked it to be bigger and more legible. So, but in any event, here it is, and let's go talk about the rest at the desk. Just out of curiosity, with regards to the autograph, would you guys rather that be there or not be there? Some people like words in their canvases. Some people do not, and I'm curious how you think the autograph looks and if you would have preferred it be there or not be there. Just everybody's got their own personal preference, so let's be respectful when we answer and respond to others. Thank you. And like I mentioned, while I genuinely enjoyed working on this canvas, I actually looked forward to it. It doesn't mean that there weren't some like frustrations and maybe some things that I wished were different or not there. You know what I'm saying? Like there were some things that made me go, ugh, when I was working on the canvas. So let's talk about some of those. First of all, the drill fit and guide circle-y situation. And that's one of the first things I noticed. The guide circles are still slightly visible after placing the drills in some areas. Some of the symbols, I'm going to pop up on the screen for you. The major background is like this white color, right? It's a white special drill color. And the symbol for that was like this, I don't know, amphitheater dome type of situation. I don't know what you would call it, but it was a very space-filling symbol. And it seemed like no matter how perfectly I tried to place the drills upon this symbol, either the guide circle showed or part of the symbol showed, and with it being a large sea of white colored or light colored background, it showed through. To me, I could see, and it looked like I was the sloppiest placer in the world, because no matter how I tried to put that drill down, it just, something showed, and it was dark, showing through in a sea of light color. I also noticed that in this area, the drills almost looked like braille. It looked like some were taller or higher than others and left like a bumpy appearance. That was kind of disheartening and frustrating to me. I personally feel that maybe I don't know, I preferred a snugger fit maybe, or that the symbols be smaller. Maybe you just take them down a tick or two and make them just a little bit smaller, so bigger symbols like that do not show through after you've placed a drill. Whether you place it perfect or you place it sloppy, it don't matter. It showed through, and I think that could be an easy fix if the some of those bigger symbols were just like boop boop, just shrunk down a notch or two. You could still see them, but they wouldn't be so obtrusive if you didn't place perfect, or even if you did place perfect and you had a white background like I did. I prefer a snugger fit, and I feel like the grid could have been just a tick or two snugger as well. That's just my personal opinion. I kind of like, my personal preference for round drill canvases, what I like the most and enjoy the most visually and experience wise while doing the canvas, is when they kind of snap into place much like squares do. I want them to be tight enough to where they're butt to butt, touching on all directions. I like that. I don't want there to be room for them to swim around and background to come slap you in the face. Personal preference, I feel like those two things might, could be, maybe, might be an improvement, at least for my personal taste, but not everyone has my personal taste, so take it for what it is. Worthless. That's my worthless opinion on that. We talked about symbol size and placement, some of the symbols being on the larger side and making it easier for them to read, be legible, but required more precise placement to keep everything aligned. So it wasn't as forgiving if I, wanted to work on it a little more casually. Another thing I noticed pretty immediately in the unboxing even was that there were, not that there were no grid lines per se, but usually canvases have that one solid line, whether it's square or round. They have like a framing border line. So when you start placing your drills, you kind of know exactly, stay inside the lines. You know what I'm saying? This canvas did not. It just started off with, round drill guide circles, just very pale ones at that. Very hard to see, which to some people is great. In this case, when you're starting out a canvas and you're not sure, where the bottom of the, trying to keep your drills straight to start, and you don't have that firm line there, it can lead to being a little wonky, a little messy. I prefer to have that hard border, that one border line all the way around, so I can color in the lines, if you will. I would have preferred to see that. It was a little confusing to me that there weren't defined borders on the edges of the canvas, especially when starting out with round drills. It's not a deal breaker, but it just made it harder for me to visually separate, and detect where I needed to start the lines, where the edges of the canvas were, per se. There was a spot where I did run into missing glue. There were it was about 3 drill spaces wide, then 2 above that, and then 1 above that. And then the surrounding drills around those, while not glueless, were very light glue and very barely sticking there. I did have to use DAC canvas glue in these spots that had no glue and weaker glue, and it was strange because it was right at the bottom of the canvas, right toward the middle, and it was almost like in the shape of some kind of clip or finger, like maybe somebody had grabbed the canvas and I don't know, was holding it there and the glue didn't get on that spot, or there was a clip there maybe holding a canvas in place and the glue just didn't get in the spot where the clip was on the canvas. I don't know. I don't make canvases. I don't know what to tell you. What I can tell you is that Craftyish Kristen here on YouTube, go check her out if you haven't already. She's also working on a Mystical Dream Diamonds canvas. It's a smaller canvas, a different canvas, and she had the exact same issue in the exact same place, pretty much in the bottom middle of the canvas. Same, pattern, same size, spacing that I had, missing glue. She also had missing glue on hers. However, early on I thought, and I think she thought the same thing too, maybe it's from the canvas being clipped in place while the glue was being poured and dried, and it was just like a manufacturing clip in the way boo-boo error, which is possible. We were waiting to see if there was missing glue maybe on the sides or at the top where accompanying clips might be found. And I can tell you, I did not find any more missing or weak glue throughout the entire canvas. It was literally just these, handful or 2 of drills at the bottom of the canvas, as seen in the picture that hopefully I put up there for you. So, it was something that was fixable. I had to use another company and brand's canvas glue to fix it. I did have to do something to my canvas to make it totally completable as it was given to me, but it was a very quick, easy, small thing. But to some people, they don't want any problems with their canvas, so I'm just letting you know that I had this issue. Another creator who's working on a canvas, who bought hers at the same time Black Friday. So bought them at the same time I did from the same company, just a different canvas and a different size. Also had the same issue. So there's that. Not like it's a big deal, but to some it might be. So worth noting. I also noticed that the printed background colors didn't always match the drill colors that were going over them. So there would be like the autograph. Let's say the words, I will always fight for you, and the autograph Gus Fink were written and it looked black on the canvas, like black ink, like somebody had written those words in black ink. But when I did the drills, it was a confetti mess. There was I'll throw a picture up. There's just a bunch of different colors. It could have easily, it didn't have to be that confetti heavy. It didn't need all those different colors to make that black signature or black wording come out. It could have been 310s. You could have put 310 drills there and spared some sanity and some time. Not really sure what was going on like with that, but there were places where there would be red on the canvas, but the drill I'm putting down is a beige color. Or there would be black and the color I'm putting down is a gray, a light gray, or a purple. And I'm just like, it was a bit confusing to me and also looked a bit odd up close while I'm working on it. But as you could see, the finished product looked great, and you can't tell that throughout the canvas there were colors underneath the drills that were not the same as the drills being placed down. It didn't impact how the finish was. But while I was working on it, I was a nervous wreck. I was like, oh my gosh, and what am I going to do? This, I'm putting a pretty light beige drill down here and it's showing blood red through the background. And is this going to wreck it? Or am I doing something wrong? Let me pull this drill up, make sure I'm putting the right one down, that kind of thing. So, it didn't affect it functionally, but visually it stood out during placement before everything was filled in. The confetti was another issue. There was a heavier amount of confetti throughout this canvas, and it on their website, and even in the description of this canvas in particular, I think every canvas, but it says that it's hand charted and rendered to avoid like unnecessary confetti and to make sure that symbols are legible and all this stuff. And when I hear that something is hand charted or hand rendered, I expect there to be considerably less unnecessary confetti. I expect that there's going to be very few, if any, weirdo random pixels. This canvas had weirdo random pixels sprinkled throughout, and it also had a lot of really unnecessary confetti. And that was just not what I was expecting. Part of what I paid for when I paid the price tag of this canvas was the benefit of knowing that I wasn't going to run into a whole lot of that. And unfortunately, like, the whole canvas was a whole lot of that. Again, it turned out great. It looks great, but it really put me through my paces, and it was not something I expected. I was expecting this to be more of a casual, laid back, enjoyable kind of easier situation to do, and instead it was full of random pixels and heavy confetti. And like I said, when I'm looking at the description and I'm reading about all the benefits of buying this particular canvas at this particular shop, and I see hand rendered, I expect to be spared from excessive unnecessary confetti and random pixels. And unfortunately for me, I just didn't feel like that was provided here with this canvas. Another area was kind of interesting. I understand that this is like a watercolor effect canvas. So when I looked at the finished product and I see his hair and his hat, you can see it looks like the painter using watercolor paints or whatever dropped some water on there. And you could see watermarks charted into the artwork, almost like a splatter effect on the actual character. I understand the background and that's how it's supposed to look, and I'm fine with that, but like on the only place you see it is on his hair and his hat. And up close it was like scattered and pixely to me, but from a distance it kind of works out and it looks, like it's supposed to be there. But while working on it, again, it was another one of those things where I was like, oh no, is this a mistake? It just kind of stood out to me. I would have preferred like the character, like the rest of his body and his accessories and stuff. They did not have water color effects, water drops or anything. I would have preferred that maybe it was smoothed out in rendering and left alone. It just kept the water blotches in the background. It just looked out of place when it wasn't throughout his whole character, if that makes sense. If it had been on his whole character here and there, it would have made more sense to me, but just the fact that it only showed up a blop in his hair and a blop on his hat and nowhere else on him, it just kind of seemed odd to me. But anyway, and like I mentioned, there was also some isolated color placements that felt a bit random. Some random pixels were there. And like I said, I do like to factor in the price when I'm reviewing, because at this price point, I personally expect a certain level of consistency in rendering and canvas quality. So that did play into my overall experience with this. I do want to say this clearly. This is not meant to tear down any shop, company, person, or artist. This is just my honest experience with my canvas. And, you know, these are my thoughts and my feelings and my experience, and I'm just sharing them with you so you can make informed decisions before spending your time and money. If you take it for what it's worth. There are other post reviews and opinions out there, so don't just rely on me. Go and listen to what everyone else is saying everywhere else and gather your intel, my friends, and do as you please with the information that you receive. Different preferences are completely okay. We just like to keep things respectful here, so please keep that in mind. My final thoughts on this particular canvas, and I'm going in depth because this is a new to me shop and it was my first experience with this shop, is that after spending over 73 hours with this piece and factoring in that it had an $85 price tag when I bought it and it's currently $92 last time I checked in February, I feel like I got a really solid understanding of both the strengths and the challenges with this canvas. And for me, this one landed somewhere in the middle. I feel much like I did with my unboxing, where I feel like I was expecting a premium like quality canvas and everything that is implied with premium and the premium price tag that it came with. I was expecting everything to be kind of on point, and I felt like some things were really premium and some things were kind of maybe mid-tier or basic. It kind of landed in the middle for me overall. I felt like this was a middle of the road type of situation for me and what I expect and what I perceive as being premium. I would like to reemphasize that I did enjoy working on this canvas despite some of the frustrations and notes that I had. And I'm currently working on my second ever MDD canvas. It is a square canvas and am really enjoying it so far. There were strong standout elements, especially those A-B drills were like super gorgeous. If you ignore the fact that they had some overspill kind of glopping around the bottom, but beautiful A-B drills, but also some workflow and rendering aspects that didn't fully align with my personal preferences for that price point. But at the end of the day, you take what I say, compare it with your own style, and decide what works best for you. I'm always going to choose to be honest with you over being silent, so take it for what it is. Because you deserve to know what you're spending your time and your money and your drills on. Not every canvas is going to be perfect masterpiece, but every experience does teach you something about what you like as a diamond painter. So whether this one would be a hit for you or a miss or somewhere in that haunted little in between, that's for you to decide. If this helped you out, let me know in the comments down below. Respectfully, of course. And until next time, keep slaying your stash and stay naughty.